Welcome back to Express Success number 9, the rental estimate. So I appreciate you guys watching all the way up until now. We're starting to get into more things that will help you actually execute on your Express Offers system and how you use it. We've been through the iBuyer, the seller, the tool, the best way to use Express Offers, the psychology of an investor, the buy boxes, the ARV, and the repair costs. And now we're at the rental estimate, which is really, really important for your buy and hold investors. All right, kind of look like a ghost on this one. Anyway, so your buy and hold investors are really counting on their long-term impact on the rental estimates that you give them. They need to know what it could rent for now, what it could rent for later, depending on what their metrics are and how they want to do. Some rental investors want to do a little bit of light work and mini flip, or they want to do a big one so they can really upgrade the end game and the rental estimates. But it's pretty simple. The way you make money as a landlord is by getting as much rent as you can. So if you tell someone that they can expect to get, say, $3,000 on a multifamily, and it turns out that they can only get $2,200, that is a big difference. $800 a month, $9,600 a year. And remember, they're calculating all this on their spreadsheets. If you make a blunder like that, there's going to be a very unhappy iBuyer. So I'm going to tell you the easiest way to do good rental estimates, because there's a lot of ways to do bad ones. The bad way is to just look at every rental in the area and not scale your distance and not scale your type of rental property. But generally, when you're sending out buy and hold multifamilies, that's going to be a house, not an apartment. So there's a big difference. When you're running rental comps, you cannot run rental comps and just look for 2-bedroom, 1-bath rentals. So say you have a multifamily. You're trying to get the rental comps for 2 sides of a multifamily that are both 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. When you start to go to look at comps, you plug in rentals on your MLS, 2 beds, 1 bath. A lot of stuff comes up. Guess what? At least half the stuff is apartments. And apartments are not comparable to multifamily houses. They are completely different. Apartment complexes have more amenities, more common areas, more things that are paid for. Multifamilies are houses with neighbors, and sometimes there's more expectation that people will take care of more things inside. That's really dependent on the landlord, but they're completely different structures. They're just not the same. So you go through and you either, depending on how your MLS works, you take out all the apartment complexes and you only click for multifamily rentals, 2 beds, 1 bath, and then you start to tighten up your distance zone. Like I told you in the ARV, you want to tighten it up to just a half mile to see what you have. Because a lot of times multifamily properties are clustered together. So it's actually very easy to see the most recent rental comps in a close proximity in a multifamily block. There's going to be some on the block that have rented. If you work enough kind of off-market and multifamily systems, you'll actually have access to some numbers that aren't on the MLS, because there are a lot of multifamily homeowners who rent those properties on their own. They're experienced, they know how to do it, they do their own NTN or whatever form they do. So if you know them, you may be able to get a little bit more of what it's taking off the MLS. So you need to be delivering these, because that's the biggest part of the sell to the iBuyer is what they're going to be making monthly if they're a buy and hold investor in this context. So sometimes you'll see buy and hold single family investors. I don't know that I've seen that metric on a buy box. I'm sure it exists, but it's the same thing. You can't compare a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house to a 3-bedroom, 1-bath condo. They're just not the same thing. The upkeep for a house is different than an apartment. They're just not the same. Never think of apartments and multifamilies as the same thing. In no context of real estate are they the same. They don't cost the same. They don't run the same. Everything is different. Only thing that's the same is the bedrooms and bathrooms. So when it comes to figuring out your rental estimates, that's something that you want to deliver. as part of your PDF extra. You can give them a lot of comps on the rents and start to comp out which units look like your units. If you're dealing with multifamily properties, you can tell which units are exactly the same as yours. They're either structured the same, they're 2-1-2-1, one over the top. Those are the easiest comps. So you can say this is verified. This one was light renovation, what we call a Home Depot flip, which is basically cleaned up, you know, new counters, everything's new, but it's not going to knock your socks off. It's a rental. So you want to look for that exact comp and feel confident in there. You're looking for like median ranges, not really an average, but the median is much better than an average. You guys don't know the difference. The average, you take 5 numbers, you add them together and you divide by 5. But that means if you have a low and a really, really high, it could be all messed up. If you take the median, it's actually the number that's in the middle. So if you have 5 or 10, it's going to be the number that's right in the middle of the scale from low to high. That's a better estimate of what you're going to do when you look at a full market of rental comps. To be honest with you, that's really it. The rental estimate is really, really important to give to the iBuyer. And if you mess it up, it could be a really, really long-term fail for the iBuyer. Thinking back on the last one, the repair estimates are obviously really important for buy and hold and rental, but they're all combined. You need to be good on your ARV and you need to be good on your rental estimates. That's how you're going to keep the iBuyers from coming back all the time. They'll keep coming back. If you're serving them up good stuff, they're going to keep coming for it. Thanks a lot, and I will see you next time for Express Success number 10, the phone script. Thanks, guys.